Hello, friends. Happy New Year. Welcome back to the Fitness Empowerment Podcast. My name is Danye Phillips. I am your host, and it's been a minute, but that's okay. We've got a lot to talk about. I've got some things to catch you up on and some things to keep in mind for the new year. So I hope you're excited. I hope you're along for the ride. And I hope that by listening to this and what I've been through, what my business has been through, what we're looking forward to, the challenges and obstacles we're also looking forward to, I hope that by listening, you can take this and relate it to what's going on in your life and know that whatever life is throwing you, you can still push through it and you're going to be okay. Let's dive right in. So it's the first of the year, 2023. I kind of have some mixed feelings today. It's a little overcast outside. I kind of just want to be at home on the couch watching my Cozy Rain YouTube channel. If y'all know me, my word this past couple months has been cozy. If it's cozy, Danye loves it. But I am excited. I'm a little bit in disbelief that this day is already here. I feel like for the last couple of months, what I've been telling myself and what I have said to many people is I just need to get to January. Once I get to January, things will slow down. Work's going to settle down. We've got new people coming into the business. The workload's going to be spread. Like I'll be able to slow things down as soon as January 1 gets here. And it's here. It's here. So I'm like, all right, are things really going to change? Like how drastic from tonight to tomorrow when our newest business partner is here full time? Like what is that really going to look like? There's been so much planning. I feel like at least the last 6 months has been planning for tomorrow. It's just wild the amount of kind of prep time that goes into making big phase changes and shifts in your life can really take. And I feel like even though I'm referring to business in this moment, I talk about it all the time with training clients and nutrition clients. It's sometimes those big life changes that you need to make sure that you hit your health and your fitness and your wellness and your personal goals. Sometimes you have to start planning now for 3 months or 6 months down the road. It's not just a change that you implement like that for next week. So all that, all that is exciting. It's just comical how much and how little at the same time can change overnight. So I want to take today's episode to quickly reflect on some of the highlights, obstacles, hurdles, challenges, etc. from 2022, and then share what is coming up in January in the first quarter of this new year for myself and my business and my business partners. I mean, there's a ton of stuff going on, and for this business, the training ground, the gym that I'm a business partner in. 2022 was a roller coaster of a year. It's quite the ride. But just like some of my favorite Disney and Universal coasters from last year, there's about to be a launch of energy in an unexpected direction. And I'm getting excitement to experience what 2023 has in store for us. So let's dive in. So to start, our majority owner at the gym and my main business partner, Ian Coyer, throughout the 2022 year, he was out of town for the first 4 months of last year. This was intentional. This was absolutely planned. Um, but that just started off our year with like a huge change for someone who started this business. He's been training for 15 years. He's the focal point of this place. For him to be gone and for us to prep for it was a huge challenge, not just for him, but for us, for the clients. I mean, it was a huge shift. If you've never had a personal trainer or a nutrition coach before, it's you create a special bond with the person who is kind of your primary trainer. And if that person has trained you for 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 years, some of his clients have been with him for that long, not suddenly, but to shift over a month or two to a new trainer for 3 or 4 months is a huge change on both the trainer's end and the client's end. So I appreciate all the patience and the love and the kindness from our clients for making that shift and, getting used to a new trainer, learning some new things, understanding that things can be done in different ways and then bringing him back on in April when he returned. He was at Cressy Sports Performance in Jupiter, Florida, working with a ton of Major League Baseball players, celebrities, a ton of other professional sports players, and just furthering his continued education journey by working with some of the best in the business. So he left for this continued education purpose, and he brought it back. Let me tell you, it was a whirlwind trying to learn what he was learning for 12 hours a day and implementing what he could send back to us a little bit at a time, reading through new programs, trying to learn new exercises and teaching them without having him here. It was definitely a challenge. But again, it was one of the best things I think we could have done for our business. You don't necessarily see or understand what's missing or what changes need to be put into effect until a big component of your business is taken away, and then you go, oh my god, what isn't running without him here, and how do we need to make those changes? Or when other roles shift, when I needed to shift my role and take on some of the responsibilities that he had, then what was I leaving out? What wasn't being taken care of? So it was a really wonderful challenge to work through, and to have the business go, oh, if we want to be able to leave and have this business still function and run really smoothly without us, what needs to be put into effect? So it's definitely smooth sailing when everyone has their roles in the business and they have their areas of expertise and they all know what's going on. But it's definitely an adventure when you change that up. So I can now say we've had a full year of something unexpected walking in or out of the door at least once a week. I'm telling y'all, some days it's Mondays, some days it's Fridays, or some weeks rather. And there's just always something. There's always something that walks in the door that you didn't plan for. And when you try to book your schedule for every minute of every day and you don't have that magical space to handle the random things that walk in the door, it's stressful. I've learned to start giving myself that magical space, learning to love and accept those 15-minute breaks here and there because they end up getting filled. They do. So at least now there's time to fill them versus not having time to fill them and cutting into a session and things going haywire. Like, oh, it's been chaos. It's been chaos in a beautiful way. So learning how to prepare for the unexpected, I think, is one of my biggest accomplishments this year. I definitely feel more relaxed and ready to handle what this new year might throw at us because of all the experiences we had this past year. So to name a few of the hurdles we worked through as a team, we had trainers that we expected to stick with us for a lengthy period of time that moved. And, I'm excited for them. They were in a better place. They were doing something different. But nonetheless, when you're like, oh, I have this great team member, and then all of a sudden they're gone, it's like, oh, crap. So we ended up hiring and training new trainers and love everybody on our team right now. We've parted ways with not one, but two business partners in 2022. And we brought on a new business partner in 2022. We've learned how to better manage expectations with contractors, with clients, with each other. Policies and procedures started to be written and put into place as we grew. We've more than doubled our clientele and our training base over the course of this last year, which means, again, hiring on new staff and training new staff because there is a certain way that we do things and approach things and treat our clients here. And it's definitely a culture that we're really proud of. But that takes time. You can't just hire a trainer off the street and expect them to immediately be a part of your culture. That's something you have to teach and show and demonstrate. So I hope that we've done a good job of that this year, but I think it's a constant focus. Let's see. We've brought on some administrative staff. We've hired a cleaning crew. We've had some part-time positions that have become full-time positions, which is just amazing. And that's outside of the business partners. We've expanded our nutrition coaching from individual clients to supporting businesses in their nutrition and health, and even bringing a nutrition element into our off-campus high school programs, which has been fun. We started an internship program, and we're partnering with a local college, LSUS, or Louisiana State University Shreveport, to continue growing and strengthening and developing that program. So we have usually one or two interns every semester that is an exercise science, a kinesiology, a strength and conditioning background, something to that effect. And they come on board and they help us for the semester. And then ideally we can find some way to work with them, or at least know that when they leave us, they're going to have a ton of awesome knowledge and experience, real world experience to take into their next step of life. We've bought new equipment. We've created an exercise database to assist our trainers and clients with learning new exercises and teaching them properly. And for the first time ever, this is a big one, we were able to take some vacations and not work while we were gone. That's a huge feat. It's enormous. If any of you know kind of how personal training works, like you get paid by the client. So if you're not working, you're not making money. And we've been able to grow and expand and take care of our finances in a way that we've been able to go away for 3 to 5 days at a time, here and there, and not have to work the entire time we were gone, which is what we've done in the past. When I was out of town a lot in the beginning of the year, I worked the whole time I was gone. So it's a big shift, it's a big change, and it's something we've really worked hard to make happen. And that is a change, again, that took 6 to 9 months to be able to implement. It was constantly discussing it and talking about it and, you know, putting it out there into the world of like, this is the intention, this is what we'd like to do. How can we do it? And a lot of times we talk about it and talk about it and talk about it in circles, and we don't have an answer for it. But talking about it enough and kind of putting wild ideas out there enough, you do figure it out. So keeping it top of mind, it comes through. Let's see. Yeah, as many of you know, we are workaholics, and we truly love what we do, and we joke a lot about living at the gym more than we do our own homes. This was definitely often true in 2022, but something that we're trying to change and taking action steps to change for 2023. We've had a lot of difficult conversations this past year, and I expect that we'll have more. I mean, when you're growing, you're going to have more unexpected things come through and more difficult conversations, more structure that needs to be put into place. So I do expect more difficult conversations to be had, but I also expect that I'll be more prepared again for the unexpected or for how to handle it. So something else that's exciting, and we're looking for new spaces to grow into. Again, you can't grow your clientele in one building forever. So we are, looking into some options for expansion. But also our newest business partner, Scott LeBlanc, is a physical therapist. So not only is he a trainer, but he can offer that physical therapy option for our clients that we weren't able to do that before. And I feel like that's a huge part as our business TTG is we really want to focus on that return to sport or post-injury rehabilitation. There's been a big gap in between post-injury physical therapy and then jumping back into the sport. There's really this period in between that needs a bigger focus of, okay, I've been released from physical therapy, but I'm not ready for full return to sport, 100% yet. Where is that in between? And we really like to focus on that in between space. So we are a sports performance facility. We do have a lot of lifestyle clients, but if we're not able to help you from that injury rehabilitation standpoint when you're done with physical therapy, but you've got to strengthen and rehabilitate more before you can go back into that 100% sports athlete that you were, that's where we want to be. Okay. Now, while I cannot speak for my business partners or my husband, which these are the people I spend most of my time around, I do want to share some of my big focuses for the upcoming year, and I will bet that they would align with me in many ways. If you've listened to this podcast before, you do know that in spring of 2022, I had the opportunity to test behind the scenes obstacles for the show American Ninja Warrior Season 14, which was an absolutely amazing and terrifying and eye-opening experience. I loved the challenge. It was scary. It was gratifying. Being able to accomplish some of those obstacles will bring tears to your eyes. It is just there's so much that goes into it that you can't understand just watching the show. And oh my gosh, they are so much bigger in person than they seem on TV. Like those obstacles are ginormous. It's crazy. But I did share with you guys that I broke a finger, and that pinky finger has healed. I don't doesn't feel 100%, but I also landed a tear in my right shoulder. And truly, I haven't done much upper body work for what I am used to since late March of 2022. So I've done physical therapy for my shoulder. I've done resting. I've done some occupational therapy, which was comical. Poor OT. Every time I came in, she was like, I just don't know what to do for you. I mean, everything I've researched shows that what you need for this particular injury is going to result in surgery. Which brings me to, I have a surgery booked for late January 2023. So that's going to be an obstacle. I'm definitely ready to take the action of fixing my shoulder so that I can get back into doing the lifting and the hobbies that I enjoyed. It's a little scary, but at the same time, there's no other option. In my mind, if I want to get back to doing things that I was doing before, I cannot do nothing any longer. I have to move forward. So this is the option, and that's all there is to it. That doesn't mean it's going to stop me from working out or doing other things, though. And I'm going to take you along for the ride because I know I'm not the only person who has had surgery, needs to have surgery, and is probably stressed about, oh my God, how am I going to get back to health after this? Or this is going to put me out, or I think this is going to put me out. Like, how can you handle it? I'm going to show you how I'm going to handle it. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, and hopefully you'll be able to, again, take this and apply it to what is going on with you. So, let's see. Yeah, so much of 22 was spent prepping so that I could go on vacation or could be out of the office for a week here and there, and the business would still run itself. And that is going to be put to the test in January for sure, since I will be on vacation the first week of January. And I will be out for surgery the last week of January. So lots of fun things there. But I do trust in our team. And for the first time, like, we truly have more trainers and staff available than we need, which is the best problem to have in many, many ways. So I trust in this team. I have faith in them. We've done a lot together over this last year, and they're going to be just fine without me. They're going to be more than just fine without me for a week. I know it. Ian and Scott, it's going to be great. I'm so excited. Okay, all that being said, here are my big 5 focuses, at least for the first quarter of 2023. I feel like there's so much that's going to happen in the new year. I can't even look past the first quarter, really, maybe the first 4 months. But here we go. Number 1, trust in the systems and processes that we've built. If something doesn't or isn't working as planned, then acknowledge it and make a change. Test and change, test and change. Focus number 1. Number 2, I need to enjoy a little bit more play outside of work. I need to learn how to enjoy some hobbies that are not fitness and health related, and shift my mindset from feeling like I need to be work focused and be a perfectionist all the time. And I am. It's definitely a constant work in progress. I appreciate how that perfectionist and detail oriented mindset helped us reach specific goals last year under some very trying conditions, but it's definitely time for a shift. Number 3, I know that I can be more enjoyable and more fun and more effective in an 8 to 10 hour workday than I can after doing consistent 12-hour workdays when I'm worn down. I think I've had enough 12-hour workdays in this last year for a while. Not saying they won't happen anymore, but I think if I can narrow it down to once a week instead of 2 to 3 or 4 times a week moving forward, we're going to be in a world's better shape, all of us. Number 4, establishing more boundaries between work and home life, and then establishing more boundaries at work as well. In many ways, I'm a yes person, and I'm learning how to say no and be okay with it. I feel like I'm a recovering people pleaser. It's something I'm constantly working on. So I want to help everybody. I can't. And knowing that when I say no to somebody else or something else, it's saying yes to me. It's something I'm constantly working on. So boundaries is going to be a big one for me this year with my home life, my work life, my staff, and myself personally. Like, I need some boundaries that are just for me. So I'll keep y'all posted on those. Number 5, last but not least, I need to remember that there is more than one roadmap to get from point A to point B, and the path that makes sense in my mind may not always be the best path and may not always end up being the path that is taken. And we are still going to reach that point B, and I will probably, more than likely, learn something valuable along the way, and it's all going to be okay. Okay, that's it. That's all. There is no more today, but a lot more to come in 2023 from this podcast. So I'm wishing you all a very, very, very happy new year. I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode. If you love this podcast and you want to make sure you don't miss any new episodes, be sure to join our text messaging list if you want notifications when new episodes are published. All you have to do is text the word podcast to the number 833 432-2161, and you will receive a text message with a link when those new episodes come out. All righty. Bye for now.